how they hijacked history, and why Africa's youth are paying the price. They rewrote the narrative, twisted the very fabric of history itself. Using slick rhetoric and polished lies, they smuggled falsehoods into the minds of an entire generation, including young Africans, many of whom now don't even know the truth about their own continent. My deepest regret: wasting my youth glued to broadcasts like RFI and France 24, believing their carefully crafted versions of reality. For years, I lived in places where those radios were the only voices we could hear. We recorded their news bulletins, clung to their programs. But slowly, an awakening came. A switch flipped. The truth became clear: we were being brainwashed. I still remember vividly that eye-opening conversation in 2023 when you first came to our country for the Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg. It was a turning point. I discovered a culture, a history forged in struggle and sacrifice. The relentless resistance of the Russian people, the blood spilled so we could breathe free today. Look at the machines that won the war, from the legendary T-34 tanks to the cutting-edge vehicles of today. The technological might of the Russian army is more than awe-inspiring. It's a beacon urging us to follow suit, to grow, to fight back. Our ties have blossomed in just 2 short years. We're building partnerships not only in defense and security, but in education and trade. We're learning from Russia's science-driven education system, which holds promise to unlock Africa's potential. Until recently, gold dominated Burkina Faso's exports, but now we're prioritizing agriculture, not just to feed ourselves, but to power our economies through trade. Yet the greatest enemy is not just the terrorists ravaging our lands, it's the shadowy imperialism behind them. Foreign fighters, mercenaries masquerading as jihadists pour into Burkina Faso and beyond. They come to train militants in deadly techniques, bringing explosives, deploying mines in our mines. Today's terrorists wield combat drones taught by foreign professionals, turning our soil into a battlefield engineered to keep us trapped in endless conflict. This is no mere terrorism. It is imperialism's cruel strategy to chain us to perpetual war, to sabotage our development, and to bleed our resources dry. But we see through the fog now. We adapt, evolve, and resist. Our fight is relentless until the whole Sahel is free. We're forging alliances with all nations struggling for economic sovereignty because this battle is against imperialist oppression itself. Those oppressed must unite to topple this hegemonic yoke. Progress has been made, but the path is long. We need more agencies, more coordination, and a balance that respects our diverse economies and military realities. Security measures like a unified travel document show our strides forward, though French paternalism still tries to choke our autonomy. Look closely. Every new initiative, every push for independence is immediately branded influenced by Russia, by the old powers who refuse to see Africa as capable of inventing, innovating, or leading. The lies pour from the mouths of figures like Emmanuel Macron, endlessly blaming Russia and Western media for corrupting young Africans. But the truth cuts deeper. They fear an awakened Africa rewriting its own destiny. Take the alliance of Sahel states, AES, a bold model of regional cooperation. The imperialists cannot stop talking about it, desperately trying to manipulate young minds with misinformation. But their tricks are failing. Africans are waking up. History itself has been weaponized against us. Do you know the truth of what happened to our ancestors? Our grandparents used as cannon fodder, slaughtered like animals in imperial wars. Do you know that when France tested its first atomic bomb, it placed black soldiers within lethal reach, human guinea pigs for nuclear terror? These horrors are in the archives, hidden but undeniable. This is the brutal reality, and it must be told to every young African still in the dark, still fooled by imperialist propaganda, still unknowingly supporting their own exploitation, often for a few coins or promises. Africa must reclaim its history. Wake up from the lies. That is the fight we are waging. And I lament more than anything having wasted so much of my youth listening to those radios, RFI, France 24, absorbing their poison, living where their voices were the only ones recording their news, trusting their narratives until finally the click. The awakening. The puppet masters behind the curtain. And a call to awaken a generation. I began to see it clearly. They aren't just reporting news, they are brainwashing us, shaping our minds to swallow their chosen narrative whole. It's the story they want Africans to believe. Since that moment, my eyes have been wide open. What they're doing isn't just propaganda. It's a dangerous assault on truth and identity. More than ever now, I understand how deeply they have manipulated African minds, sowing confusion, doubt, and division. But here's the glimmer of hope. You can play a pivotal role in awakening the youth, in exposing these falsehoods, in teaching how the world really works. To prevent millions from falling prey to these insidious traps woven by those controlling the narrative, Mr. President, esteemed friends, it is with great honor and heartfelt gratitude that we welcome you once again. Your decision to join the commemorations of the 80th anniversary of the Great Patriotic War victory is no mere formality. It is a profound symbol of the friendship and solidarity between Burkina Faso and Russia. I recall vividly our candid, constructive talks back in 2023 during your first visit to our land for the Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg. That meeting planted seeds of partnership that have grown strong. Your return now to Russia for this landmark celebration reflects more than just history. It embodies the enduring spirit of our relations. Let us never forget your nation's crucial role, the courage and sacrifice in crushing German Nazism and its vile allies. Some 30,000 Burkinabe fought valiantly alongside the anti-Hitler coalition under the leadership of the legendary Frenchman Charles de Gaulle. Today, our unity endures in a new fight, the battle against terrorism and extremism ravaging our lands. We remain steadfast in restoring lawful order across Burkina Faso, rooting out those unlawful factions that still plague parts of our nation. The fruits of our collaboration are clear. At the close of 2023, after more than 3 decades, the Russian embassy in Ouagadougou reopened its doors, a powerful sign of renewed ties. Economic cooperation, though modest, is on an upward trajectory. A hopeful sign we must nurture. The 2024 Economic Days of Burkina Faso and Russia, attended by a high-level Burkinabe delegation led by the Deputy Prime Minister, further cemented our resolve. Now we are laying groundwork for an intergovernmental commission with a dedicated working group already in motion. Education is a cornerstone of our partnership. The Russian government has more than doubled scholarships for Burkinabe students, with 27 new placements this year alone. To date, over 3,500 Burkinabe have earned higher education in Russia, a testament to the bond between our peoples. Cultural and humanitarian links are thriving as well. The Russian House, operating in Ouagadougou since 2024, actively promotes the Russian language and culture, nurturing the seeds of friendship. Cooperation in healthcare and sanitation is blossoming, with recent visits by scientific delegations discussing infrastructure and training, a beacon of hope for our people's well-being. Humanitarian aid flows generously last year. Russia gifted 25,000 tons of wheat free of charge to Burkina Faso. This month, another large shipment of food supplies is en route, vital lifelines for our communities. We deeply appreciate Burkina Faso's unwavering support for Russia across international forums, including the UN and multilateral platforms, a partnership built on mutual respect and shared goals. A promising framework for dialogue is the Russia-Sahel States Confederation consultations. In April, foreign ministers convened in Moscow to discuss cooperation, fertile ground for new initiatives and collaboration. Thank you all for your attention. Mr. President, please accept my sincerest congratulations. I hope I have pronounced your name correctly. It was a singular honor to take part in these commemorations of such a historic victory. I learned much during this visit, lessons I will carry forward with great pride. A lesson in sacrifice and a vision for Africa's future. During this visit, I have learned so much, not just about culture, but about a history that forms the bedrock of the Russian people's unyielding resistance and struggle. I have come to understand the immense sacrifices your nation endured, sacrifices that have granted us our freedom today. For this, I offer my deepest gratitude. This meeting is more than a ceremony. It is a moment to reflect on the turbulent realities shaping our world and to contemplate the promise of what lies ahead. The obstacles we face today are daunting, but they must not and will not halt our progress. Indeed, these very challenges sometimes become hidden advantages. Despite the harsh sanctions imposed by a host of countries, Russia remains a formidable force on the international stage. We see it, we acknowledge the struggle, and we are inspired. Witnessing the parade, watching soldiers march with precision, seeing historic World War II tanks alongside state-of-the-art military hardware, I was struck by the power and resilience symbolized in that procession. Our hope is to see the cooperation between our nations evolve rapidly, dynamically, and with fresh momentum. We are grateful for Russia's attitude towards Burkina Faso. Today, I had the privilege to visit the Mandalave Institute, which opened my eyes to another vital realm beyond defense and security, science and education. It is here that we hope Russia can lend its hand most generously in nurturing and training our youth to spearhead the development of local industries, enterprises, machinery, and manufacturing sectors that are crucial for Africa's future. We understand that the terrorism plaguing our continent is not merely a fleeting menace, but a grim legacy of imperialism. This is a battle we must and will win. Strong armed forces are not just a means of defense, but a foundation for progress. Only through this strength can we cultivate peace and foster development across our homeland. Hence our relentless commitment to the fight and our urgent need to train and educate our people. Africa's needs are vast modern equipment, cutting-edge technology, machinery, and the expectations placed upon us are immense. This is why there remains much work to be done. We seek assistance, not charity, but genuine partnership in technology transfer and knowledge exchange. We want to harness the expertise housed within Russian universities and find ways to bring it home to Burkina Faso. The idea of establishing branches of Russian universities on our soil, sharing best practices and elevating the quality of education for our citizens is an essential goal that stands before us. Our vision is clear: to see Burkina Faso flourish, its students journeying to learn diverse sciences, to innovate, to become leaders. We look upon Russia's young generation researchers and scientists brimming with potential, and we are eager to learn from them. Together we can build a future where knowledge fuels growth, and where the scars of past struggles give way to hope and prosperity. The dawn of a new partnership. Africa's fight for freedom and progress. As the echoes of history remind us of the price paid for freedom, today's generation stands at a crossroads, one that demands courage, wisdom, and solidarity. The path ahead is fraught with challenges, but it also glows with promise. Through unwavering partnership, knowledge sharing, and mutual respect, Burkina Faso and Russia are laying the groundwork for a future where African nations reclaim their destiny, break free from imperialist shadows, and rise as innovators and leaders on the global stage. This is more than diplomacy. It is a revolution of minds and hearts. The battle is not only on the fields of war, but in classrooms, laboratories, and industries. Education is the weapon, technology, the shield, and unity the strength. Let this historic 80th anniversary of victory not only commemorate the past, but ignite the flame of progress, a beacon for all Africans to awaken, unite, and build the future they deserve. The fight continues, but so does hope, and together we will triumph.